Hello students, today we will discuss project management. You have heard the word project many times. So how can we define the project? What is project? In a nutshell we can say that project means it has definite start point, definite start, and it has definite end. In other sense we can say that project consists of many activities. So it has many activities. Further we can say that these activities are interrelated in project. So interrelated activities, Further, project has logical sequence of activities. So this activities has fixed logical sequence. We will discuss this what logical sequence is, but we can now from this point define that project consists of many activities, which activities has interrelationships and logical sequence of start and end. So project has definite start point and definite end point. Logical sequence means, for example, if I am working on a project of construction of house, then I cannot create a first floor slab without developing the walls of ground floor. So it's a logical sequence. I cannot paint the wall before carrying out the plastering and wall putty on the wall. So these are the logical sequence of the activities, that particular activities can only be started after completion of other activity. So in summary we can say that project has definite start point and definite end point. It has many activities. It is interrelated and logical sequence. Activity are interrelated and has a particular logical sequence. If we see the various examples of the project, there are so many construction project like construction of dams, bridges, house. We can also say that commissioning of power plant, Also major shutdown and maintenance of major equipments can also be considered as a project. Major shutdown in industries. Then fabrication of large steam boilers. Then research and development projects. These are long duration projects which are very complex. So many activities are interrelated in this project. So it is very important to study project management. Project management is used in construction, then in almost all large industries, in R&D projects, even hosting a product launch, new product development, say state level admission program, state level centralized admission program, it's also one kind of project. So this is what project is. Mainly there are two types of techniques for solving the project. These are known as CPM. It means critical path method, and another technique is project evaluation and review technique, PERT. So there are two types of techniques, CPM and PERT. We will discuss both the techniques turn by turn. For solving the project management problem, the main first step is to develop a network diagram. Network diagram. Network diagram shows the relationships between various activities. And once we establish the relationship between activities on a paper, then we can resolve the problem of project management. So now let's discuss network diagram. Network diagram can be developed in two forms. One is activity on arrow diagram. Arrow diagram. It means AOA diagram. Another is activity on node diagram. That is known as AON. AON diagram. Before discussing this diagram, first discuss that project network is made with two parts. One is arrow, another is node. In majority of case, people are using activity on arrow diagram because it is representing the time. So if we take this example here, the activity is mentioned on the arrow. So it is an example of activity on arrow diagram. Here event 1 and 2. In other case, the activity is represented on node, activity 1 and activity 2. Arrow represents the event. So, network diagram formed by two. One is activity and another is event. And here it is event. What is the difference between activity and event? Let's see that event is starting or ending point of activity. See here, event 1, say it is activity XYZ. Activity XYZ starts with event 1 and terminate at event 2. So if we take the difference between activity and event, let's understand it in more better way. Activity consume time. Activity consume resources. Whereas event is starting or end point of an activity. So it do not consume time and resources. It is just starting and ending of any activity. That is known as event. So with the help of this activity and event, we can draw a network diagram. The major input to the network diagram is predecessor relationships of activities. Now we will discuss one example through which you will come to know that how to draw a network diagram. So now let's understand network diagram by an example. So here the activities are mentioned. Activity A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H and I. So there are 9 different activities. Their immediate predecessors are, for A there is no predecessor, so it is a first activity from which entire project start. For B the immediate predecessors are A and C is also A. So after completion of activity A, activity B and C can start. For activity D, the predecessors are B and C. So for starting the activity D, activity B and C both must be completed. Then only we can start activity D. For example, if only B is completed, C activity is not completed, then we cannot start activity D. For example, if the activity time of B is 10 minutes and for activity C it is 20 minutes. If both activities start at say 0 minute, then B can complete it at 10 minutes and C will complete at 20 minutes. So we can start activity D at after completion of C, means after 20 minutes. B has to wait. You can say that is a cushion that we can delay the activity B for starting. So if we see it is activity B and here is activity C. It is at 10 minutes, it is at 20 minutes. So we can start activity B between this 20 minutes. So you can also start activity B from here to here like that. But it must be completed when activity C is completed. So that is known as a cushion. We will discuss this thing in detail later on. So D can only start with activity C. Clear? That D can only be start after completion of B and C. However, B is completed, even though one has to wait. Once C activity is completed, then only we can start activity D. So this is known as predecessors relationships. Now, for activity E, F, G, the predecessors are D, E and E. For H it is F and for I it is G and H. So I is last activity and A is first activity. Remember, for activity on arrow diagram, always event start with unique event and ends with an unique event. So always there is a one head event, it is known as a head event, and one tail event. There are only two events, head events and tail events. Now let's start how to draw a network diagram. Activity A. So here is activity A. There is no predecessors of activity A. So event 1, event 2, activity A. Activity B and C are start after completion of A. So now from event 2 there are two different activity can start. Activity B and activity C. 3 and 4 event. Now D starts only after B and C. So B and C both will terminate at one end, or otherwise we have to represent it by dummy activity. So let's draw one dummy activity that establishes the relationship between B and C, and here is activity D. So this relationship, what it shows, that D will start after C and after this dummy activity. When this dummy activity start after completion of B. So D can only start after completion of B and C. Then E starts after D. Activity E starts after D. Then activity G and F both starts after E. So it is like activity B and C starts after A. So here activity F and activity G. Activity H starts after F. So let it is activity H which starts after F. And activity I start after completion of G and H. So now we can represent this in a way. Instead of two different terminations, we can terminate activity G at this event, the event number 8. So it represents that after completion of G and H, we have another activity I. So in this way we can form a network diagram. Let's revise again. Activity A, it's the first activity. There is no other predecessors. So it starts with a unique head event. So from event 1 we start activity A. For activity B and C, the predecessors are A. So we take two activities from A, B and C. D starts only after completion of B and C. So here, after C we draw an activity D and give a dummy activity. It is for establishing the relationship. Let's say D1. It is for establishing the relationship between B and C, that D will start after B and C, completion of B and C. E starts from D. F and G activity starts from E. Now let's understand carefully. For H, it starts from F, so it is H. G and H, on completion of G and H, activity I start. So I terminate G activity and H activity at node 8. You can also draw like this. Here is the activity 6, activity F, activity H, activity G and activity I. Between that I can draw dummy activity, that is say D2. But it will create a complex network diagram. Remember, while developing a network diagram, you have to draw arrows in only forward directions like this. Never use backtracking. So in this way we can develop a network diagram. And remember, it is advisable to use minimum dummy activity while developing the network diagram. As you practice more, you can develop a very good network diagram. It requires little bit practice. And before solving the example, first draw a small network diagram in a rough work, then draw a fair network diagram. Because there are many alternatives as we have seen. And remember, head event and tail event both should be in center. And network diagram should be more legible. As the network diagram is more legible, you can easily understand the diagram. And then you can easily solve the project management problem. After this, now we will discuss critical path method. So we have discussed network diagram. Now we will start critical path method, CPM. We will understand the CPM through examples. Let's take one example. There is a network, or there is a project having 6 different activity A to F. Their immediate predecessors relationship is given. A has no immediate predecessor. For activity B and C, it is A. For activity D, it is B. For activity for activity E, it is C. And for activity F, immediate predecessors are D and E. Duration of each activity is given 4, 3, 7, 14, 4 and 9 respectively. This example was asked in GATE 2017. And the question was to calculate minimum project duration. Calculate the minimum project completion duration. Let's start. First step is to develop network diagram. Remember, as we have discussed earlier, that first develop a small network diagram in Docker and then make a large network diagram. We'll start with this. So activity A has no immediate predecessors. B and C are from A, so B and C. D and E are from B and C, so it is B and E. F is from D and E, so F is from D and E. So actual diagram will be like this. Okay, so now we'll draw a large diagram. Activity A, 1, 2 event. B and C are from A, so it is B and C. D and D are terminating into the F, so it's a angle similar event for termination. D and E and last is F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 event and 6 activities. Now note down the duration of activity in bracket of each activity. So A require 4 days, B require 3 days, for C it is 7 days, for D it is 1 for 14 days, for E it is 4 days and for F it is 9. So we have drawn the network diagram, mention the activities and its duration. Now we will calculate earliest start time. Earliest start time means how much early we can start the event. ગુજરાતીમાં કહીએ તો વહેલામાં વહેલી ઇવેન્ટ ક્યારે એક્ટિવિટી ક્યારે શરૂ કરી શકાય. So for activity A, the earliest start time is 0 naturally. It takes 4 days to complete. So activity B and C both can be started after completion of 4 days, so from 5th. Now B will be completed after 7 days, okay, and C take 11 days. So after 7 days I can start activity D, and after 11 days I can start activity E. Now for activity F I have multiple time. See, D will completed at 14 plus 7, so 21 days, and E will be completed on 15 days. Okay, we have discussed that F can only be start after completing D and E both. So at 21 days both activity will be over. So we can start F only at 21 days. 21 days. So out of 21 and 15, we have to choose 21 because F can only be start after completion of D and E both. Now F will be completed at time 30. So total project completion days is 30 days. Total project completion time is 30 days. Clear? Now next calculation which was asked in many exams, that is calculation of critical path. Critical path. So in this project, what is the critical path? First we discuss what critical path is. Critical path means in entire project a path in which there is any delay, then duration of entire project will be extended because of that delay. That is known as critical path. A path in which if we make any delay or increase the duration of activity, it affects the duration of entire project. That is known as critical path. See in this example, now we will calculate the critical path. Here it is for critical path normally calculated by subtractions of earliest starting time and latest completion time. So here we have calculated earliest start time. જે આપણે પહેલા ડિસ્કસ કર્યું કે વહેલામાં વહેલું ક્યારે શરૂ કરી શકાય એ. That is forward chain. Latest completion time can be calculated as backward chain. Latest completion time એટલે મોડામાં મોડું ક્યારે શરૂ કરી શકાય. કોઈ ઇવેન્ટ છે મોડામાં મોડી ક્યારે શરૂ અથવા પૂરી કરી શકાય. So let's start calculation of latest completion time. Naturally the project is completed on 30 days, so latest completion time for last event is 30. 30 minus 9, that is 21. Clear? Now 21 minus 14 is 7, but 21 minus 4 is equal to how much? That is 17. So for activity E, earliest start time is 11, but latest start time is 17. 17 minus 7, we will now separately calculate for activity C. 4 will remain same. 17 minus 7, that is 10, and 7 minus 3, that is 4 minus 0. And here A can be only start after at 4 because of B, it is 0. Now we will calculate float. Let's summarize. First we will calculate earliest start time. Then we will calculate latest start time. Then now we will calculate float. There are two types of float: total float and free float. Float is a subtraction of these two events. It is 0 for activity A. For activity B, it is also 0. But for activity C, it is 10 minus 4. How much? 6. For activity C, now activity E, it is 6. It is 0. It is 0 and it is 0. So the activity which has 0 float, it forms the critical path. We will discuss the importance of this float, but let's First, discuss what is critical path. The activity with zero float can be say critical path. So for our case, activity A, activity B, activity D, and activity F. So A, B, D, and F form the critical path. Now we will see why it is critical path. If I make any change in activity duration, say activity B is taking 3 days to complete, instead of I will make it 5 days. Now what happened? It started 4. So now new completion time will be 4 plus 5, 9. For activity D, new completion time will be 23. And so the F will be completed at 32. So by changing 2 days or extending the activity for 2 days, entire project duration is extended by 2 days. So the path in which if we make any change in total duration of time, if we increase the duration of time, the total project duration is increased, that is known as critical path. For activity C, it is taking 7 days. If I make 10 days, what happened? It started 4, completed, will complete at 14, 14 plus 4, 18. But it is going to start at 21. So still there is a cushion of 3 days. So this float provides cushioning to delay the start of activity. Here for activity C and E, I have enough duration that I can delay the start of activity by 6 days. Instead of starting the activity C at 5th days, as on 4th day for A is completed, so I can start at 5th. Now I am extending it to up to 10. So I can start it at the 10th days. I will start the activity C at 10th days. So it will be completed at 17 days, and E will be start on 17th days. So it will complete it on 21 days. And so from 21 days F will start. So this float of an activity provides us cushioning that how much we can extend the start of how much we can delay the start of an activity. Here we have a flexibility. So whenever activity has float, it has flexibility. But when it is a critical path, the task must be start on time and completed on time. Otherwise there is a delay in project duration. So clear? I quickly summarize critical path method. The question was asked in GATE 2017 for calculating the total project completion duration. We have provided with activity, their immediate predecessors, and duration of the activities in days. So from this data we first draw a rough diagram, then draw a fine diagram. So it is A, B, C, D, E, and F. First we have calculate, we have put the activity durations. Then we have calculate earliest start time. 4 0 plus 4 4, 4 plus 3 7, 7 plus 14 21, 0 plus 4 4, 4 plus 7 11. Here we will write earliest start time on bottom. 4 plus 7 11. There is no as such rules. 11 plus 4 15. So we have two options, 15 and 21. F will start only at 21. 21 plus 9 30. So total project completion time is 30 days. Now we will calculate float for getting the critical path. So for calculating the float, we will first calculate latest completion time. F will be completed at 30, 30 minus 9, 21, 21 minus 14, 7, 7 minus 3, 4, 4 minus 4, 0. 30 minus 9, 21, 21 minus 4 is 17, 17 minus 7 is 10. Now 10 minus 4 is 6, so here 6 days float, here is also 6 days float. The critical path is the path which has a 0 float, so that path is A, B, D and F. So here the critical path is A, B, D and F. So now let's discuss another example. Here in this example, activities are mentioned not as A, B, C, but here the activity event relationship is established. Say we were formally representing event activity A like this, but here the activities are represented as 1 to 2. So the predecessors relationships are accommodated in this event relationships. So there is no immediate predecessors are given. This example was asked in GATE 2015 for 2 marks. So let's first draw the network diagram in rough, then we will do a fair diagram. So 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, then 1, 2, 4, 2, 2, 5, 3, 2, 4 and 4 to 5. Okay, so we will now develop a fresh diagram. Remember, in rough diagram we are using the arc, but never use arc in fair diagram. Draw a straight arrow. Event 1, event 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 1 to 4, event 5, 2 to 5, 3 to 5 and 4 to 5. So you can terminate all events in a single node like this. 2 to 5, 3 to 5 and 4 to 5. Now in next step, note down the duration of each activity. So that is 2, 2 to 3, 1, 4 to 3, 3, 1 to 4, 3 days, 2 to 5, 3 days, 3 to 5, 2 days and 4 to 5, 4 days. The diagram is little bit complex, but by practicing you can develop a very good network diagram. So we have completed the first step. Draw the network diagram and write down the activity duration. Now the next step is to calculate the earliest start time for each activity. So for activity 1 it is naturally 0. For activity 2 it is 2 days. For activity 2, 2 plus 1, 3 days. For activity 4 it is 6 days. Here is the two options, one is 3 and 6. So activity 1 to 4 is completed at 3 days. But we can start activity 4 to 5 only after completion of 3 to 4. So that is 6 days. So we will take earliest start as a 6 days and it is completed at 10 days. So now we will calculate by backward process, we will calculate latest start time. 10 days, 10 minus 4, 6. Here there are two different events, 3 to 4, 1 to 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. It is started slow. Now here from event 3 there are two events, 3 to 5 and 3 to 4. Event 3 to 4, 3 to 5. For both earliest start time is 3 days. 6 minus 3, that is 3, 4, 3 to 4. Let's write here 3 to 4, 3. and 10 minus 2 is 8. For 3 to 5 it is 8. Now for 3 to 2, that is 3 minus 1 2. Here there are two different events, 2 to 3 and 2 to 5. So for 2 to 5, that is 10 minus 3 7 days and 2 minus 2 0. So in this way we have calculate latest completion time. Now we will calculate the float, that is difference of earliest start time and latest completion time. So for event 1 to 2 it is 0, 2 to 2 it is 0, 2 to 5 it is 7 minus 2 5. For 3 to 4 it is 0. So here 3 to 4 0, 3 to 5 8 minus 3 5 days, 6 minus 6 0, 10 minus 10 0 and 3 days. So here we have 0 float for activity 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. So the path which have 0 float is known as critical path. So in our case 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5 is a critical path. So note down, critical path is 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 5. And total project completion duration is project completion duration is 10 days. Now let's discuss about the float. For activity 2 to 5 is having a 5 days float, 3 to 5 is having a 5 days float, and 1 to 4 is having a 3 days float. So this activity is a cushioning to start the delay of that particular activity. For example, we can start the activity 2 to 5 even at 7 days. However, the activity 1 to 2 is completed by 2 days. So in this way we can solve the various examples of critical path method. Keep practicing, students. By practicing you can develop a very good network diagram and easily solve the problem. In next lecture we will discuss project evaluation and review.